name's Julianne Richards, excuse me while I move my chair, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in southern Tasmania. Apologies, I'm a wee bit late this morning. I walked into my craft room and realised that I hadn't actually tidied up from yesterday's online launch, so the room was a little bit of a mess. So I've been tidying that up first before we actually start with our little get together today. Just bear with me, I'm going to make sure that everything sounds all right and looks all right. Yeah, that sounds all right. I'm just going to share this little baby over to my group. Just bear with me. With the new setup that they've got at Meta, I can't actually stream directly to my group. I've probably complained about this far too many times. So I have to actually physically share it over there so that my lovely people in my customer group can actually see what's happening and come along for the ride. So let's make sure that's over there as well. There we go. Lovely. Awesome. Okay, so it looks like we're all set up and ready to go. As I say, sorry I was a little bit late. As I say, tidying up, and I've really only tidied up this little amount here. It's a bit like, it's a bit like mayhem at the rest of the desk. But anyway, before we start today, what we're going to do today, I'll give you a quick quick look. We're going to do this little treat pop-up gift bag card, I think I've called it. It's part of my philosophy of actually I'm going to enjoy my crafting a little bit more than I have been. I'm going to change my focus a wee bit in the next few months, and I'm going to enjoy my crafting, and I really enjoyed doing this one. I've actually said I would make some cards for a swap, which is really unusual for me. I don't usually pop into the swaps because I don't have time, but I'm going to take more time and enter into more fun things in the future. So this little pop-up gift bag is what I've designed for the swap. I'm going to make 4 of them, I think. And the star of the show, I think, and you open it up, it has this little sort of mini gift bag in there, so that you're actually meant to put, like, I don't know, some cash or a gift card or something in there, but it looks just like a wee little, it's so cool. I was so proud of it. A wee little gift bag there, so that's really nice, and I've enjoyed making that one. So if you are in my card making group, my customer group, my card making, what do I call it, card making paper crafts and more Australia, if you'd like to pop into the swap, and I might partner up with you and send you one of these babies. So yeah, so please pop into that and swap. Swaps are great fun, and I'm going to be doing more of them as time goes by. So the paper we've used is also a real highlight. It is the Market to Market paper. It's actually here. It's a new in the annual catalogue. I've only got half a pack left, but it's got some lovely bright images, some flowers. It's all about taking things to market for produce, that sort of thing. So it's really got some flowers and some lovely wood grain, and then some sort of veggies and things as well. So it's all about market. I've used this little sheet here. I haven't got much left of it now, and it's got shopping bags and things on one side and some lovely sort of Blackberry Bliss on the other. Karen's saying she's having trouble playing the video. Is anyone else having trouble with the video? Karen is saying, what sort of trouble, Karen? Can you let me know? Anyway, I'll try and fix it if I can. But anyway, it is over on YouTube as well, and a lot of people watch on YouTube and have less trouble with it. So that might be something to consider if you subscribe to my YouTube channel and you're having trouble. It may just be, hopefully it's not too broad. Widely spread, but let me know if you're having trouble, and I'll try and fix it if I can. But as I say, it's over on YouTube as well. So yeah, cute little bag here. I've got to admit that I couldn't find any. I wanted that little tissue paper in there. I couldn't find any at home. It's so weird. You know, you've always got tissue paper. Well, we usually do. You know, sometimes you buy a pair of shoes and they wrap it in that tissue paper, and then you pop the shoes in the cupboard because, you know, they were an impulse buy and you weren't going to wear them anyway. And so I was searching for some shoes, you know, regretted purchased shoes, but I couldn't find any. So I used some, what's the word? baking paper instead. So that's out of my kitchen, but I will try and find some tissue paper for the ones before I send them for the swap. And I've used, for those little images and sentiments, I've used the Attention Shoppers, which is a brand new stamp set. I'm really loving it. I've actually made some customer thank you cards using it as well. It's a lovely little stamp set, and it's got a cute die that goes with it as well, where you can actually make up this little shopping trolley and things like that as well. So, but I'm not using that today. I'm just using the stamp set for our cute little sentiments there, and for the sentiment on our belly band. Oh, I haven't cut that yet for myself, so I'll have to cut that before we go much further. Okay, so treat yourself. Shopping is always a good idea. So there you go. So anyway, we're going to pop that together. Now this little bag, I thought to myself, I want the little bag to just look like a paper, a craft paper shopping bag. And I thought, oh, what am I going to use? And I was thinking maybe crumb cake cardstock, but it's crumb cake, that's quite sort of heavy. So I wanted something lighter. So I thought to myself, what am I going to use for that? And I thought, well, let's face it, we all have so many shopping bags. I don't know if you're like me, but you end up with a million of the things. And some of them go in the recycling, and some of them just get popped down the side of the fridge, or wherever you tend to pop your shopping bags thinking you're going to use them one day. So I grabbed one. This is just a sort of plain shopping bag. It's not a Woolies or a Coles one because they have all the writing on them. Just a plain shopping bag there. It was actually ended up being more than 30 centimetres wide and probably more than 30 centimetres deep. So I basically have just chopped this thing up. I've chopped it up and rescued a panel from that, and cut it down to 4-inch strips. Yeah, 4-inch strips. So this is the template for the little shopping bag. So just cut it straight from an old shopping bag. Ultimate in recycling, hey? There we go. Use the paper. Yeah, we don't get paper pumpkin down here, sadly, Lynn, so I couldn't. That would have been a good idea to sort of recycle something from a card making kit, but we don't get the paper pumpkin. But anyway, I'm sure I'll find somewhere. Someone actually offered me some yesterday in a class, so I might take them up on it. Okay, so our little gift, the star of the show, as I say, is this little pop-up gift bag. This is the template for it here. I'll pop it into the description so that you can copy it yourself. But fundamentally, you need a 9.5 by 4. I'm going to keep it in inches because they're nice and round inches, but convert it to centimetres if you need to. 4 inches by 9.5 inches. You score it along the long edge. That way would be better, although that makes my writing upside down. You score it at 1/2 inch and 1 inch. Then you come along, you score it at 4.5, 5 and 5.5. That's the 3 in the middle, and then 9 at the very end. Okay, 1/2, 1, 4.5, 5, 5.5, and then at 9. Okay, so that's the long edge. That gives us the little bag shape. Then along the short edge, you score at 1/2, and you score at 3. So that's the 2 scores there. As I say, I'll pop this into the images. Then you grab your scissors and you remove the corners, and the bit in the middle. So you return at the 1 inch end, you remove those and you leave them square. So you remove that, and that. You leave the edges square, and on the 1/2 inch score side, you remove the same parts, but you taper them a wee bit. So you cut them into little triangles. I'm actually going to do that for you now, so don't worry too much. I'm going to do exactly that with a blank piece of our bag, our recycled bag. So here it is here. Let's do it now. Be careful if you're using design. The other thing to use, of course, is a nice designer series paper. So if you're using this from a recycled bag or you're using designer series paper, don't go too heavy-handed with your scoring blade. I always make that mistake and end up putting holes in my designer series paper. So obviously it's not as thick as some. It's not as thick as cardstock, so you end up you'll go through it if you're too heavy-handed. Okay, so on this short edge, or so along the short edge, so this is already 9.5. No, it's not. I haven't trimmed it down yet. So trim it down. It's 4 inches wide already, but we'll trim it down to 9.5 inches long. Take a wee bit off the end there. And turning it onto its short edge, we're going to score at 1/2 inch. Out of the way. So as per our little template that I showed you, we're scoring it at 1/2 inch. And looking at this piece of cardstock, I thought to myself I might actually iron it, but I've left it too late to iron it, so I'll go with it as it is. 1/2 inch and 3 inches. Now, if you take special note, if everyone's going to pop along to my Come Craft With Me session on tomorrow week, Monday week, the 10th of June, I think we'll make one of these together. So take note, have a bit of a think, and we'll pop together next week and make one of these together for Come Craft With Me. So check out my Facebook page for the event for that. Okay, so at 1/2 inch and 3 inches, and then along the long edge, we're going to score at 1/2 inch. Oh, everything's just fallen on the floor. We had a lovely day yesterday, the ladies and I, for my online launch. Made some lovely cards together, and I made some hopefully nice cards to show them. So it was great. So could be my last launch for a while. I'm sort of reassessing what classes and courses and things I offer. Going for a bit of a more relaxed life next year. But it was a lovely session. So anyway, thank you for coming, ladies. Okay, so we've got 1/2 inch and 1 inch, and then we've gone 4.5, 5, and 5.5. That's the 3 we've done there, and then right along to the end to 9. Not disappearing. I'm going to definitely keep my card making going and keeping my Saturday videos going, and I think I'll probably do 1 class a month rather than knocking myself out with 5 or 6 that I offer at the moment. So 1 class a month, which would probably be better for everyone's wallets as well. Somebody did joke to me yesterday that they've donated a kidney to the cause of my crafting. Don't feel bad if that was you. I know it was just a joke, but it'll be less expensive for everyone if we can concentrate on having fun and not buying stuff. Anyway, so what we're going to do is score this little bag so that you've got some pleat in the side. So if you look at a shopping bag, it's got that sort of pleated side where it can fold flat, and that's what we've done there. So we've pleated that end, so it's like a little W or an M, and we've pleated that side. So that's the 1.5 inch score there. That's the 1 and the 1/2 and a 1, and they'll go together there to make the bag. Okay, we do need to cut out our bits first though, so let's do that with some scissors. So as per the template, we're going to just cut at this 1 inch score side. We're just going to cut these bits straight out, and it'll look like the template, I promise. And then this one. Once this goes together, you'll see why we have the 1 inch score versus the 1/2 inch score. It's really clever. I think I've been dying to do one of these for so long and sort of not really got around to it. And as I say, I'm going to enter into this group swap and create it. So there, we've taken those straight out. So that's the 1 inch score end. We're going to take these out as well, but with a little bit of a angle. And that's because this end is the end that does the magic with the card, making it pop up. So we need to just get that little bit of excess out of the way so that it doesn't catch on itself. There we are. Okay, so that is our little card there, and it looks like our template there. Okay, as I say, I'll pop the template up for you so you can see it and come back to it if you'd like to make one. If you're in our group swap, why don't you make one as well? There we are. That, as I said, that's nothing. That's just a kink in the bag, so don't worry too much about that. Okay, so now this next bit, when I did my original card, got a little bit tricky. So I'm going to do it a slightly easier way this time. I'm going to grab my favourite hole punch from primary school. I'm pretty sure it's from primary school. It looks like it's been around forever. And then I'm going to punch holes. Now this is at the 1 inch end. Okay, so we're going to punch holes for our handle, and I'll show you the handle there. You see the little handle? We're punching some holes for those to go in, and they are 3/4 of an inch in from the edges, both edges of the bag. So if I bring in a ruler, I'll grab a pencil. I had a pencil here a minute ago. A pen will have to do. Come in 3/4 of an inch from that score, so there, and 3/4 of an inch from this one, and that's there. On that 1 inch score line, I've come in 3/4 of an inch. You probably can't see it until I actually do punch the hole. I'll do the same on this end. So 3/4 of an inch in from there, in from that sharp edge there, that straight edge, that and that. And we're going to bring in, and hopefully it'll reach that far, bring in our little punch, and exactly on the score line, you're going to punch a hole. So exactly on the score line and on that 3/4 of an inch mark, you're going to punch a little hole. So I tried to do this when when the little bag was already together. It just got a little bit fiddly. So I think this will work better. Okay, so we've got our 4 little holes there. Now, I'm thinking in the vein of recycling and using as much of this bag as now that I've destroyed it, I'm actually going to use the actual handles of the bag for the handles of my little bag. So there we are. They're a bit mucky, but I need about 5 inches twice. So I need 10 inches all up. So let's pop that on there and make sure, see if I've got 10 inches between the mucky bits. Yes, I do. Oh, now I was going to use my good scissors, but I'm not. I don't want to use my good scissors because it's quite, what's the word? Quite thick. Quite thick. Twine, I suppose it is. What would it be? Hessian, almost. It's quite thick anyway, so I'm going to use not my good scissors. And I'll cut it down to 2 5-inch lengths. There we are. So I'm going to use those as the bag of the handles of our little bag. Now, Sally, are you saying I'm freezing or it's freezing? Maybe the video is freezing. Hang on, I will just do something. Stephen and I have an ongoing fight about the positioning of the modem, which he tends to move it. So he has his computer and stuff set up in the back room, which is at the other end of the house, and I have it here in the front of the house. He tends to want the modem. Obviously, wants the modem where it reaches him best, and I want it where it reaches me best. So I will. Every time I go live, I have to move it back to where I want it, so that so that it doesn't lag. So maybe, and I just went back and he'd moved it from yesterday, so I had to move it again. We'll see if that makes it any better. It could be other people's internet as well, I suppose. Okay, so this I'm going to pop the little handles in first before I make our bag. And this is what I decided yesterday when I was trying to fiddle terribly with this adding these little handles. And that's decided to die just at the last minute. So I might substitute some double-sided tape. Got another one there, I know, but so I've put some snail on the top bit, the 1 inch part, and a little bit onto the bottom as well, because it's going to have to trap those handles. And because my double-sided tape's just run out, I'll substitute some, because my tape run has just run out, I'll substitute some double-sided tape. And what we need to do is bring our little handles in. I've given them a bit of a pre-bend. Pop it in through the hole. Okay, you can imagine trying to do this when the bag is already together. You'll understand what I mean. Just sort of give it a little bit of a firm down onto the adhesive that we've added there, and then fold that over and continue to firm it. And it'll stick to itself, and it'll stick to the either side of the little bag handle as well. Now, this is not going to be overly strong. I'm going to tell you that now. It's not going to be able to carry huge weight, but then it's a card. You're not going to want to fill it up with, I don't know, nuts and bolts or heavy weights or anything. So it really is just a novelty thing. I've seen you can use ribbon. Ribbon would be stronger because it would adhere better, but this is quite thick, this jute. Jute, there you are. Is it jute? Someone tell me it's jute. I'm not quite sure. Anyway, this is quite thick, so it's obviously not going to stick quite as well as ribbon. But as I say, you're not planning on carrying the crown jewels or anything in it, so it's okay. It's just novelty. So anyway, pop that through the 2 holes. Try and firm it down a wee bit as much as you can. You don't want it coming off on the person's hand, because they're going to, you can imagine they're going to look at it and go, oh, isn't that cute? And they're going to try and pick it up, and, you don't want it to come out of their hand straight away. But as I say, it's not for carrying great weights. I think sometimes I am my worst enemy when it comes to how much glue and stuff. You want things to last, but, honestly, it's paper. It's not going to last forever anyway. That's the idea. Breaks down. I am philosophical today, aren't I? There we go. So we've got our 2 little handles in there, and that was much easier than, as I say, yesterday, me trying to get that in there when the bag was already together. So let's pop the bag together now. So, as I say, we've got our little zigzaggy bit on that side. We have to form the same sort of zigzaggy bit on this side, just by popping some glue or some double-sided tape, whatever your adhesive of choice. I'm going to use glue, I think, this time. And pop that on there and just glue those together. And we've got our cute little bag. Now, if you were making a bag for an actual present, you would, of course, seal the bottom so things don't fall out. That's sort of logical. With this one, we're leaving the bottom open, because that's what makes the magic of this thing popping up when you finish your card. Okay, so we leave the bottom open. Okay, although I do need to score it and fold it in, but not seal it. Okay, there we are. So that is your little bag. How cute is that? I think that is the cutest. If I do say so myself, I'm being a bit humble, but I think that's so cute. Anyway, so let's get on with the rest of the bag. No, the rest of the card. Okay, so the rest of the card is, I'm trying to match it to this whole sort of craft bag, shopping bag sort of theme. I've used some crumb cake cardstock. So there we are. So that's crumb cake cardstock, 4 1/8 by 11. You see that? 4 1/8 by 11. I don't know. I've got my focus forced down here, but it might be a little bit small. 4 1/8 by 11, scored at 2 3/4 and 8 1/4. So there we are. And so when that folds down, that's where we get that sort of little pocket look sort of thing, and that then opens with the little bag inside. Then I've got, oh, I didn't cut my white. I really was a bit slack this morning. I probably shouldn't have spent so long tidying up. Okay, there's a piece of white. I'll see if I can get the white white, and I have to remind myself, I haven't written it down, but I will put the as I say, I will put the measurements on the Facebook page, so don't traumatise too much about that. The white will be 4 inches wide. That part I know. Let's measure. 4 inches wide, and then there's got a little place for the bag there. So that's ½ an inch there. ½ an inch there, so that there. ½ an inch back. And then another 1/8 of an inch back. So 4 7/8. One piece at 4 7/8. And the front one, and that one has to be, she says, measuring again. Apologies, I know I'm usually a little bit better organised than this, but not today. 2 5/8. Okay, so 4 7/8 will go up here. 2 5/8 will go down here. And then that little gap there is for our little bag to sit. So I'm going to decorate it first before I get too crazy with the bag, because the bag, the bag sits on there. I might actually, bear with me. No, that one's, oh yeah, that's okay. I think it's going there. That's it. That's there. It's better. So that little inch there, that's where our bag goes. Apologies for that. I will rectify my notes before I pop them up. So there we are. And that at the top there, that's just left blank. So, okay. So let's pop these white ones down. I haven't stamped anything on them yet, and I will when I'm finished. So a piece of white down here. So that was 4 inches by 2 5/8. And this one was 4 inches by 4 7/8. And that leaves just a little ½ inch gap above and below the score line. There we are. And that's where our little bag's going to go. And I'll fold it over. I've got 2 pieces of cardstock. I've got the beautiful Blackberry Bliss side, which is the tone-on-tone side of our little bags. This is from the Market to Market Designer Series paper. I think it's called that. If anyone's got their catalogue next to them, can they check what the name of this paper was? It's the one with all the fruit and veggies bundle. Okay, so pop that there. And our bags at the bottom. Okay. When it closes like that, it looks like that. We're going to do a little belly band. I've got that ready to go as well. So we'll do a belly band also. But we'll pop this little bag in now, because this is the bit we're all wanting to see, I'm sure. So our little bag that we made, going to pop some, and this time I'm going to use double-sided tape rather than glue, because my snail just died. I know there's some over to my left, but I don't want to search around for it. I'm going to pop a piece of double-sided tape or snail or glue, whatever your choice is, along those 2 little tabs that would be the bottom of the bag if we were creating a proper little bag. These would be sealed up. So just the base of the bag, 2 little pieces of double-sided tape. I'm going to remove one. You bring in your card and you line up the bottom edge of the bag with that score line. So that's what you're lining up. So you line up the score line with the bottom of the bag. And that piece of double-sided tape that we've just popped on there, I will firm it down. Okay, so it's stuck on one side now. Then I'll remove the top piece. Watch this. This is so cool. Firm that down the top so stuck on both sides of the score line now to mark it. Thanks, Fran. And then when you open it up, it opens. That is so cool. Oh, hang on, what's wrong there? Oh, no, that's okay. It's just kinked a wee bit there. That's it. There you go. So that opens up with your card opening, and then it folds flat when your cards fold. Not as flat as it. It's not mega flat. It's still got a bit of, because I've put that really thick jute stuff in there. But yeah. So there we are. Okay, that's cool. So let's do our belly band. Now, leaving it to this stage for the belly band is wise because you don't know how thick this thing's going to end up being. And as I say, it's a little bit thicker than just a flat. It's a bit thicker than just a flat card. The belly band is 1 inch wide, and I've actually just split it down to 10 because I think that's plenty. So what I would do now is wrap it round the card and make sure it's therefore folded in the right places to keep the card nice and closed and firm. I mean, I could say to you, score it at 3 and 4 or 4 and 7 or whatever, and it might not be quite right depending on what you use for your handles of your bag. So firm that around until you get it just right. Then I'll stick it down with some glue. And just let that cure off for a second. Just pop that aside. I do need to cut myself a sentiment box. I'm going to use the Blackberry Bliss as our main colour. I'm going to use the Nested Essentials dies for our sentiment, our front sentiment anyway. So we've got the Nested Essentials. If you haven't seen it, they're really quite cool. Not that you can tell because mine is such a mess. Anyway, you have nested, of course, given what it says on the box. I said that so many times yesterday, I've decided I'm not going to say it anymore. Because it's not a box, it's an envelope. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4 nested sort of hexagon-y shapes. You get the same in a sort of a rounded rectangle, she says. I'm tidying up as I go. A rounded rectangle, sort of small right through to large, and then you get the same with a stitched banner. So small right through to large. Really good value die set there. Great for, as I say, layering, because I'm going to use the large one for my backing and then a smaller one for the actual sentiment itself. So Nested Essentials. Okay, so I have to bring in my big shot. My cut and emboss machine. Bear with me. I've disappeared, I know. I'm bringing in this. I'm going to grab some white for the smaller one and some Blackberry Bliss for the larger one. There's some Blackberry Bliss. Now if I can find some white. So many little scraps of white. I'm sure there must be one somewhere. No, excuse me, I've got to find a scrap of white or use a whole new sheet, which is not good. No, I have to use a whole new sheet. Here we are. So I'm just going to cut a little bit down for our Blackberry Bliss. Just make it the right sort of size. And the same with the white. This is breaking my heart. That's okay. I'll use it. Apologies, I should have done that before. As I say, I was chatting to people as well. Don't get me wrong. I wasn't actually tidying the whole time. I was having a bit of a chat as well. So Blackberry Bliss and white. There we are. Now the sentiment, I'm going to use the same one as I did. Oh, forgive me, I just bumped my something. There we go. And I'm going to do that with Blackberry Bliss. Again, we're going to bring in that wonderful Attention Shoppers stamp set and use the Treat Yourself, because this is going to have a, as I say, this is a gift card swap that I'm going in with this little entry. Pop it on a block. And Treat Yourself on the front one. It's just a perfect size for our little Nested Essentials rectangle there. Pop that onto, did I dimensional them or not? Let's have a look. There is the belly band here. Okay, so I'm going to glue the Blackberry Bliss rectangle to the belly band and then dimensional that one. So let's glue that. Just in the middle there, don't want too much, I might put it on that side. Central-ish, straight-ish. Dimensionals on the back of that one. You should see the floor here. When I say I tidied up, I sort of did, but I put a lot of the dimensional backings onto the floor behind me. I'll bring the vacuum in. But after yesterday, we did so much crafting at the launch yesterday. Dimensionals everywhere. And they get in your clothes. I've heard people open up about the strangest places they've found dimensional backings. Lots of them find their way to the toilet, usually because you've got them in your clothes and they fall out. I find them everywhere. I found them up in the garden. Like they must have travelled with me up to the garden. They were actually in the compost and places like that. So they get everywhere. Okay, so we'll pop some bling. So I'm going to use our basic rhinestone gems here. When I was designing this card, I was busy getting ready for launch, so I sort of everything just sort of was used that came to hand. So we'll use our rhinestones. And I'm going to pop them just on the belly band, because using a belly band is going to have to slip up and down our card. So you can't really pop any bling on there because it'll get caught as you go up and down, so we don't want that. So we'll just pop it onto the belly band. There we are. I'll pop a couple of the follow-on sentiment inside. On the original, I used shopping is always a good idea, or something like that. Shopping is always a good idea, so we'll use that again. Making my swaps the same as each other. I don't know, with the second ones, the second two, I might swap to a nice designer series paper or something. We'll see. We'll see. See how much shopping bag I've got left. And then I might do this off camera because you don't really want to watch me after all that, watch me colouring things in. I'm going to pop a couple of the little images from the stamp set on there as well, just to sort of add a little bit of a shopping theme to the inside as well. Okay, I'll fix that. Okay, so make sure I've got no glue ink on myself. So just to finalise this one, I'll grab some tissue paper. As I say, this is actually baking paper from the kitchen, but it's just as good. baking paper from the kitchen, and I will pop that in there just to give that a little bit look like a little shopping's been tucked away in there as well. So that closes up like that. Belly band goes over perfectly because we've measured it properly, she says. There we are. And that's our little treat bag. So yeah, pretty enough on the outside, but when you open it up and you get that cute little shopping bag inside, that's just really cute as well. Okay, so hopefully you enjoyed that one. Numbers dropped off a little bit towards the end. Obviously, I was rambling. That's fine. So hope you enjoy that one. Give it a bit of a go. As I say, if you would like to join my group, my card making, paper crafts and more, pop along and you can join in the swap yourself and maybe make some of these lovely ones and give them as well. So anyway, that's my video for today. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. Any questions about anything you've seen today, please reach out. Keep in mind as well, we have our 10% off, extra 10% off die and stamp bundles starting on the 5th of June, which also includes cut and emboss machines. So if you've been saving up and wanting a new cut and emboss machine, from the 5th of June to the end of June might be a good time because you've got 10% off those as well. Anyway, thanks for joining me. Have a great day, and I will catch you all again next time.